exam week.
The party's about to start, baby.
For coffee number 3 of the day. And I was like, yes. And she was like, good morning, guys. It is 10:40 a.m. and it is Monday the 23rd of May. It is exam week. One tomorrow, one on Wednesday, the big one, and another one on Thursday, and then another one on Friday morning. So lots of fun. But I have got my coffee from my amazing coffee machine, which I'm absolutely obsessed with. So hopefully this will wake me up a little bit. And then I can start making my way through the list of things that I have planned to do today. Tomorrow's exam is a CCA, and the CCA involves us going through 5 stations, which will involve some BSS and also some anatomy, but the anatomy specifically is semester 1. And I've really done not much of that. I'm gonna start replying to some emails. So let's do it. Next on the list of things to do is my BSS question bank. These are basically learning 5 specific models: prime theory, the self-regulatory model, combi model, health belief model, and trans-theoretical stages of change. And then I'm just gonna stick the main key points into question bank, stick that in Anki, and then just spend like an hour just going through that question bank, putting it in my brain. Now, the way that that's examined tomorrow is we're gonna have a 4-minute consultation with a simulated patient where we just sit down, do some motivational interviewing, learn about potentially, like, let's say they're a smoker, let's say they love eating and they're obese. We've then got to answer some questions after that based on what kind of psychological models we fit their behaviors in. So it is less of a like just raw knowledge of just learning specific things, but you just really have to be familiar with the different models and be able to apply them when someone asks a question. So this is all just basically psychology. Anyway, let's go. So I've just spent half an hour building a really decent question bank, and there's about 33 questions within that deck on Anki. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and practice that deck and try and learn it off by heart and become as familiar as possible with the content of BSS. Right, what are the stages of the trans-theoretical stages of change model? It is 1:21 p.m. and I've done about an hour and a half work. I've got through all the BSS stuff, so I'm feeling really confident about that. So I can move on from the BSS now and on to Sem 1 anatomy. And for that, I'm gonna start with complete anatomy, just going over the forearm again, because I think that that's the hardest component of our Sem 1 anatomy. Go to the muscular component, as I can see here. And then I'm just gonna do the anatomy wrap-up sessions on each of the Sem 1 cases. And that way, that will mean that I've gone through everything that I need to in terms of Sem 1 anatomy. And because I've already learnt it once, going over it again in just one day, in a few hours, shouldn't be too difficult. I'm gonna get on with that now. Right, so it is lunchtime, and of course, I'm having the same thing that I have every single day. And whilst I'm having lunch, I am actually not gonna do the anatomy just because I don't really wanna be looking at specimens whilst I'm eating. So instead, I'm gonna do some of my Anki decks. And today's topic is COPD. Fun. And so I think it's time for coffee number 3 of the day. It's 5 p.m. and I have done just about 4.5 hours revision. I'm hoping to get at least 8 hours in today. And this time I've gone for an espresso that was sent to me by Melita. I'm obsessed with it. I don't even use the coffee machine upstairs anymore. Unbelievable. But I am just gonna finish off getting through this deck on COPD, emphysema, and chronic bronchitis. Once I've got through this deck, I'm going to continue on with my anatomy for Sem 1 and then get on with some CCA prep. Alright, so I decided to come outside for a quick break and to get some fresh air because there is only so much of staying in those 4 walls that I can do in one go. I've done about 5.5 hours so far, and we have just been sent our schedule for tomorrow's CCA. So I have just spoken to Rahul because we have got some consultation skills that we have to do tomorrow in that CCA. So we're going to meet up tonight at about 10 p.m. and practice some of those consultations. Alright, so before I sacrifice myself on for another God knows how many hours this evening of study, I just thought I'd give you guys a rundown of exactly what the CCA is and what it involves. Essentially, our final year exams for med school consist of CCAs, a progress test, and a SEM test. The SEM test is examining all the physiological principles and a lot of the anatomy and everything that we've learned this semester in one long 2-hour paper. We've also got a progress test, and that's a test that every single one of the medical students from years 1 to year 5 all sit at the same time. It's also the same exam, but of course the grade boundary differs per year. And the purpose of that is just to kind of assess your progress throughout the years. And the CCA component is essentially assessing all the practical skills that are involved in becoming a doctor. Right, so that's everything from your consultation skills, assessing spirometry, ECGs, performing ECGs, and in the later years doing things like injections, casts, just everything that's practical about being a doctor. And also another component of our exam is also something called PEP, which is Personal Excellence Pathway. This year it was consisting of us doing a poster presentation with a group of other students, and then we've got to present it. So that is basically what exams we have. Tomorrow I've got my first day of CCAs of 5 different stations. Be an anatomy station, the phys pharm station, which is maybe going to be reading spirometry and answering some questions on it, potentially even an ECG. Next, it's going to be measuring a patient's blood pressure by palpation and auscultation. Then after that, we're going to do a consultation station where we speak to a simulated patient, explain how to take a physiological measurement. So I'm assuming that's going to be with a peak flow meter. That makes most sense to me. Then there's going to be a full consultation station, which is going to be consulting with a patient, exploring why they've come into the GP practice, essentially just practicing our communication skills. Then on Wednesday, I have my main semester test. And then on Thursday, we have the second day of our CCAs, which is going to be another 5 stations. And then on Friday, I've got my poster presentation with my group where I'm going to be presenting the research project that we've done. And then next Tuesday, I have my final exam, which is the progress test. Yeah, it is a lot that we have to do and have to think about, but it is nice that they do send us a breakdown of the CCA that we're gonna be doing tomorrow. So I can see the first station is the full anatomy station, and it is comprised of the full reproductive systems and the upper limb. So I am going to prioritize a bit more of the forearm, a bit more of the upper limb, and just prioritize getting through this anatomy of the reproductive system and just get more and more familiar with that. And also, I have recently just been checking my blood pressure all the time, to be honest, in mornings and night, and I've just got the lowest reading I've ever got, and I'm so impressed with myself. 114 systolic, 67 diastolic. Wow. But I'm very relaxed right now. I don't feel stressed at all, which is weird considering this is exam week, but I do also feel really quite prepared. I'm content with how I feel about these exams and how hard I've worked, so I'm not too stressed. Okay, it is like 10 past 10 and I'm actually knackered. But Rahul's coming over in a bit because we're gonna do some phys pharm practice. We're just gonna do the blood pressures. But just before that, I am just gonna watch some blood pressure readings just to get, you know, fully up to speed with what I need to be saying prior as well. What's up? You alright? Okay, so the GP's just asked me if I can ask you if it's okay for me to just take your blood pressure. Before you go ahead and accept, I'd just like to talk to you about what that's going to involve, just so you can feel more informed before you make a decision or otherwise. Does that sound okay? Sure. And so that was a really productive session with Rahul. As you can see, it's now 12:30 and I am absolutely knackered. It was just really good to practice blood pressures and criticising one another and just figuring out how we can both improve. And we discussed other areas that we believe would possibly come up in this exam tomorrow. Feeling good about it. I am gonna have a bath though now. Do some question banks on Anki and then call it a night. So with that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow on exam day. Oh, good morning, guys. It is 9:45 and I've had a shave, so I feel like a completely new person. I've got my exam at 3:45, so I have a really good day to just get on with lots of other things that I need to get on with first. First thing I'm going to start with today is I'm just going to work my way through one more deck on Anki for case 3. Case 3 is the only case that I haven't yet finished. It's about COPD. Once I've got through just one of the 6 decks within this case, then I'm going to prioritize going through the anatomy that I need to know for today's CCA. So I feel good about getting that out of the way because now I have about 3 hours or so until my CCA. So I'm going to spend this time now just prioritizing getting through Sem 1 anatomy and the reproductive tract in males and females. So that's the priority. It is 2 p.m. and I've done 3.5 hours. I'm feeling really confident with all my anatomy now, so I don't want to do any more anatomy revision because I finished all of the Sem 1's content that I needed to get through, and that is everything for this exam, so I'm feeling fine about that. I'm also feeling pretty confident about CCA stations. I'm really thinking that it is going to be an ECG that we're going to have to do. For lunch though, I am going to have this meal that I cooked the other day. I'm going to have pasta with turkey. Since I am done with my CCA prep and I have about an hour and a half until it actually starts, still got a lot to get on with before my SEM test tomorrow, which is the most important test. And I'm feeling okay about it. I'm just a bit worried about how much content I have actually forgotten, because when I did the Anki decks, I was very good with them. I knew them all, but I've been doing an Anki deck every day for each case. So that means, considering there's 9 cases, it's probably not gonna be fresh on my mind. So tonight's gonna be a big evening of just getting everything just up to speed. I'm also trying these drinks called Magic Mind that were sent to me by the company, and they are filled with matcha and loads of other different ingredients which are designed to optimize concentration. And to be honest, I have actually been noticing a bit of an effect, and that's probably because of the matcha that's in it. Has matcha got caffeine? I think it is caffeine. It's got something anyway. But yeah, it's like a shot of goodness. Cheers. I am gonna stop there, considering I have done 4 hours and 13 minutes and it's 3 p.m. I'm pretty impressed with that, but I do need to start getting ready for the CCA. And for that, you're gonna be wearing typical professional clothing that you would wear on a hospital placement or a GP practice placement. Bare below the elbows. So you should be wearing nothing on your wrists and you should be able to pull your sleeves all the way up, which I can do. Black trousers, white top, and I'm gonna wear some brown boots. I think I'm happy with this actually. I feel like I look professional, but I also look smart, and that's what we're trying to do. All right, so I am good to go for this exam. This is the final outfit. Shoes, smart. Obviously I've got my lanyard with my ID, which is an essential component. I've got my lab coat, stethoscope, and also my camera, just for some content when we get there and when I leave. So let's head over there now. That is the end of the CCAs. Thank God for that. Oh, okay. CCA, wow. Very, very stressful to start with. The whole lead up, the whole build up, so anxiety provoking, like way more than it needed to be. It literally felt like Squid Game. It's the only way to describe it. Like we were lined up and then they would call the next lot up and then we'd get moved to a next station and we'd wait in the hallway and then move up a floor to the next part, then we'd sit down. And I'm not really someone that ever gets anxious. It just felt like really serious. Anyway, the first session was anatomy and I feel like that went well. I got everything. I didn't not know any of the questions, I think. 10 questions within 6 minutes, different specimens, and you just have to label things. You have to say the point of origin, the insertion, the nerve that innervates it, X, Y, and Z. And that was the anatomy station. The second station though was really, really bad. because it was the spirometry and I wasn't here for the spirometry. I've never used the spirometry software, so I didn't know how to calculate averages. And then I got one of the questions wrong because there was histology which came up, and obviously I didn't revise histology because who revises histology? Blood pressure reading was really good. I smashed that, no problems, I knew the routine. And then the next station was speaking to a patient for 4 minutes and then show them how to use a metered dose inhaler and then explain one of the side effects. Then the last station was just a consultation with a patient. That was a wicked station. I really loved it. I spoke to the end and I had a lot of fun with it. So actually in hindsight, when I've just reflected on it, it actually went far better than I thought it did. It's 6:30 now and I've got so much work to just do to prepare for tomorrow's Ep.7 exam. I just can't wait to get it over with though. But let's get started. It is 10:20 and I really don't have many hours left in the day before I really need to think about going to bed because my exam tomorrow is at 9:45 a.m. So instead, I'm just gonna choose the most highest yielding topics while I have my dinner. Currently 2,155 cards that I need to do on Anki. And I've got about 2 hours until really I need to go to bed. I've decided instead of doing an extra 15 minutes for revision, gonna jump on the bike, do about a 20-minute cycle, and then we're gonna call it a night. So let's go. And good morning, guys. It is the day we've been waiting for, 9:15, which is half an hour before my exam actually starts. Feeling good. I had a really good night's sleep. I'm feeling pretty energized. I had a freezing cold shower, so I'm like completely awake. I'm just gonna have my porridge though. And while I do this, I'm gonna look through the Anki decks and I'm gonna aim to head off in about 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So let's go. I am here for my exam with 5 minutes to go. So whenever I have an exam, I never get the lift because I always worry, what if I get trapped in it or what if the lift breaks down? I won't be able to sit the exam. Wish me luck. I'll see you after the exam. Wow, guys. What on earth was that exam? That, honestly, has got to be probably one of the easiest exams I've ever done. And I'm actually quite annoyed now because obviously after the exam I got my phone out and started messaging everyone else and everybody has said the same thing. So that just simply means that the grade boundary is going to be very high. But at the same time, there was a few questions that I was maybe held up on, and I think that's more to do with BSS. You've got to fit a description into a behavior model, and often these models overlap quite a lot and it's very difficult to figure out exactly what pillar within that model they're referring to. So those are the only ones that I do struggle with. I do struggle with BSS. So yeah, feeling good after that. And I've got my final CCA tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna get some food and start practicing some BSS stuff and prioritizing some anatomy. So let's do it. So today for lunch, I'm having my very typical chicken and avocado bagel, and the other one's gonna be a mackerel bagel. Mackerel is very, very healthy. It's full of really essential omega-3 oils, but it's also very expensive. Right, so while I'm eating, I'm gonna watch back one of the practice consultations that I did with Matt, one of the cardiovascular exams and the respiratory exam. Pretty much guaranteed that tomorrow, that's what we're gonna be examined on in the CCA. Yeah, look at this lunch, is that not divine? Mackerel, chicken, egg, the lot, the whole shebang. Okay, so plan today. First has been just to identify exactly what could come up. And that is specifically Ep.2 anatomy, histology specifically of the cardiovascular system, ECG. I need to go over my BSS, which is all the behavioral models, Cardiovascular and respiratory examinations, I just need to touch up on that. And also blood typing, which is the hematology component. And also CPR, and I think as well the ATLS protocol, advanced trauma life support, primary and secondary survey. And that's pretty much gonna cover me for everything that I need to know for tomorrow's CCA. Now I have already done the majority of the anatomy for semester 2. I'm only behind on 2 cases, so there's not a huge amount to go through there, but I haven't yet done the histology and I'm not feeling too confident about histology. I don't think anybody ever is. I don't think anybody really loves histology. Let me know in the comments if you love histology. And as well, my CCA tomorrow is at 3:45. It's 3:40, so I have got today, the rest of today, and all tomorrow morning and some of the afternoon to get on with all this. So let's do it. So because I was away for the spirometry session where they used the software which we're actually going to be examined on, it's called Power Lab, I've actually resorted to watching YouTube videos of people explaining how to use it. And it's really annoying because there aren't actually any resources on how to use the software online. So yeah, this is super helpful. And so 9:30, and to be honest, I'm not feeling incredibly productive anymore. I've done like 6 hours study today, and I've just spent the last 30 minutes throwing together this salmon dish, some teriyaki salmon with some honey, ginger, sweet chili, and potatoes, and of course some greens and some carrots. I am actually gonna just check up on my PPD and make sure my portfolio is all ready to be submitted. There are just a few like subheadings you'd add here and there just to make it a little bit more obvious. So I need to just fill that out now because the deadline for that is tomorrow. And look who has joined me for some pre-CCA prep. So we're doing respiratory examination and cardiovascular examination because that is likely what it's going to be tomorrow. I think it's probably going to be cardiovascular. What are you thinking?
I reckon it'd be cardio.
I think it's going to be cardio just because we have done quite a lot of respiratory already. Good morning guys, it is the day of my CCA and I've decided that I'm going to try the coffee up here. I've not had it for a while, so I'm going to compare it to my coffee downstairs. Alright, it's definitely good. I'm not sure it's as good as mine though. And so the countdown begins. At T-minus 5 hours, I have my CCA, so I'm just starting getting some tickets for Warehouse Project because I've just found out that Eric Prydz is playing in September, which is a week before I go into my second year. Oh, and I've also got some porridge. And I also might do some revision for my exam today at some point. And so it is just about 2 p.m. and I've had a pretty productive morning just working through the things that I believe are going to come up today. So specifically, I started with just some cardiovascular and respiratory examination recap, and then I did some CPR practice where I was just practicing as if there was a mannequin there and how I would do the consultations as well. Then I moved on to doing some hematocrit calculations just to become a bit more familiar with those. After I did some BSS, and I've just eaten some lunch. And while I was eating lunch, I was on the phone to Rahul and we were discussing potential questions that could come up in the anatomy and the BSS. I'm feeling like there's nothing more I can do at this point, considering the exam is in 40 minutes. Let's get ready. What do we think? Good? I've just arrived to where my CCAs are going to take place, so wish me luck and I'll speak to you guys after the exam. Wow, that is the end of the CCAs. So we started with the anatomy, and to be honest, my brain froze at the start because they asked questions about the planes, specifically what borders are the transthoracic plane, and I was like, T4 to T5? And then he looked at me and paused, and then it made me think. Anyway, so I just delayed a few bits on that. But other than that, the anatomy station went really well. The second station after that was blood grouping, and that was so much fun. Finished that within like 3 minutes. I had like a full 3 minutes just waiting after that. Next station was CPR. I'm really experienced in CPR because I used to be a lifeguard, so I just knew what to do. The station after that one was a respiratory exam. Infection control is obviously really important. And I remembered all my steps, I did a really great job with it all, but the examiner made me stop halfway through as I was doing the exam because my sleeve was there and like, it just threw me off a bit because I was performing, you know, the inspection and just observing the chest. So anyway, I rolled my sleeves up and obviously I sanitized again and just got back into go mode. And then it threw me off at the end when she asked me a question about, so where are you percussing? Up to what rib? And I was like, T8. And then I paused and was like, T10? T8? And she was like, I don't know how to interpret that, but I know it was T8, but again, threw me off. And then the last one was just a consultation, BSS. Questions were super simple. Within this model, tell me about this and how this relates to this situation. So super simple. They were like combi, psychological capability. And that's it, I'm done with the CCAs. But it is 5:39 and I have a lot of preparation really to do for tomorrow's PEP presentation. Now, I have got some parcels that did arrive last week on Saturday, and I haven't opened them all week because I wanted to wait to do that in this video, and they've just been piling up in my bedroom. Look at that. I've got a massive box here, and I've got 2 huge boxes there, and we've got 2 more that have arrived right here. I'm gonna leave that until later tonight, and I'm gonna use this hour and a half or so just to do some preparation for tomorrow's PEP poster presentation. So yeah, let's go and do that. I asked my mum to have a look at the poster and think about some of the kinds of questions that she would have. What would she want to know? And then we discussed that together, and I've just put them in a few bullet points and just kind of refined them a little bit and then put them in the group chat for everyone to discuss. This is 20% of our mark for PEP. So it is really important because it could be the difference between a satisfactory and an honours. Now I have just realised it is 6:30, so it is time for me to actually set off and work for 4 hours. Yay! It just doesn't stop, does it? Doesn't stop. Hey, look at how much effort I've made for coming to work. I'm wearing the exact same outfit to DJ that I did my CCAs in. Because nobody's actually in the restaurant yet, I'm not starting until 8. So I decided to come to Walk to get some food. But I did not understand how expensive it was here. Like, I got 3 toppings, like some chicken, broccoli and mushrooms, and some noodles. £16.50. Huh? How is that the price? So I love when this guy shows up because it means one thing.
The party's about to stop, baby.
It means I get to go home.
You're gonna stay for 1 hour.
This is your party.
1 hour.
I've got an exam tomorrow, so I'm gonna dip. And dip I did because I've got more important things to be doing, haven't I? So I've decided the plan is to just spend an hour or so just learning the content of this poster inside out, just in case I do get asked any questions tomorrow. Good morning, guys. It is 5 minutes before my poster presentation and I'm feeling okay about it. I've got some notes here which I've written up. I've just been trying to learn those off by heart and just kind of rejig my memory. I'm gonna get on with it and wish me luck. Hello. How you doing?
Hello.
Good.
How's everyone doing? Yeah, not bad. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Okay, just finished the first Zoom call, which went really well. Because we're doing it on cancer, one of the oncologists was actually our examiner just then, and she just wanted to know that we knew about some quite generalized questions about cancer, as opposed to just very specific to our poster. I feel good about the way that that went. Wow, so I have just finished the second poster presentation, and that went so well. I think because we were all prepared following the first presentation, we all felt really confident for the second. But the best part of all was actually at the start of that presentation, the examiner said, by the way, the design of this poster is amazing and there are definitely some graphic designers among you. And I was like, yes, look, I'm gonna take responsibility for that. I am, because the original first draft that we sent, which was using the PowerPoint design, I decided, you know what, we're not using that. I will extrapolate all the information from there and build it on Canva. And then everybody else contributed as well to that and helped in making it look pretty. I'm really happy with the outcome. To celebrate having finished the poster presentation, first I'm gonna get a coffee, and then second, we're gonna start by opening some of these. The only criticism I have with that coffee machine upstairs is the coffee's never warm enough. So by the time I'm down, I've already pretty much finished it. But that being said, we have all of these gifts that need opening up. So let's start celebrating by opening some of these goodies up. It is a soda stream. I'm like so excited to use it. I spend so much money on just bottles of sparkling water, and it is really bad for the environment, as we all know. But this solves that problem because now I can make my own sparkling water. Oh, Pepsi flavor. So we've got some syrups. Okay, we got a whiskey barrel. Okay, I actually love that. I just think it's a cool way of just storing your whiskey. Even though I don't drink much whiskey, I have a bottle of it up there. If I ever have a guest that likes whiskey, this would be a really cool little thing to have. But here we go with the big one. Ooh. Okay, cool. So we've got a multi-purpose lap desk. So I don't necessarily have to study and work at my desk. I can sit down on the sofa now. Sit down using it like that. And also a draft beer dispenser. That is incredible. So I can basically now turn any can, any bottle of beer into a proper dispensed draft. Another one, we've got a pharmacy coffee mug. I really wanted this just simply because I just think it's nice. It represents, you know, what I'm doing with my life right now. But my favorite thing of all, this is like amazing and probably the best thing for summer. An actual slush puppy machine. I can make up to 1 liter of slush in minutes. That's unbelievable. But if you guys do want some of these really cool fun gifts from iWoot, which is iwantoneofthose.com. I'm gonna put the link in the description, including a discount code, so you can find some really cool gifts for yourselves, and all the prices are really reasonable, so go check out their stuff from their website. I am gonna test out the SodaStream fizzer. The instructions say, quite simply, you just fill it with water up to the level. You don't have to screw it, you just push it in like that, and you just press the button that you want and how fizzy you want it. Wow. I think I can just pull it out, just like that. Oh my god, that is unbelievable. That is just soda water. And I can now just make it whenever I want it. Now, SodaStream were also kind enough to send me lots of flavors, such as Pepsi and 7-Up. Let's go for Pepsi. It does say you just fill it. I just want it lightly sweetened. I don't want it very... Oh my god, that's literally Pepsi syrup. Let's make it lightly sweetened. And give that a light shake, just like that. I actually just wanted soda water, but I just thought I'd try the Pepsi, see how it turns out. It's literally a can of Pepsi, a game changer. All right, I'm giving this slush puppy machine a go as well, just because I think it only makes sense to show you how it works. It's slushy. It definitely didn't make the right ratio in terms of ice. That's why it's not completely slushy, but... Wow! That is so sick. Like, you would 100% stick some vodka in that. Yeah, you've got yourself like WKD. Is that blue WKD? Is that blue raspberry with vodka in it? That's exactly what this is. Now you've got your own, make your own WKD. Sick. I do not know where this last few hours have gone. It's now 6:30, which means I need to go to work. But literally, I've just been scheduling some videos I posted a new reel to my Instagram, which if you're not already following, you need to follow. It's linked right there and in the description. And yeah, I replied to some emails like I said I would, but I've still got a huge list of things that need doing. I don't have time to do them now, so I need to go to work, maybe go to the gym before bed, and tomorrow has to be a day of studying. So I'll catch you later. And so I just got back from work and people on the course were asking me, do I want to come out? And I was so close to going out, I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna go to the gym because I don't want to feel dreadful tomorrow. So I just did about 20 minutes on the spin, and now I'm gonna head to the gym for the rest of the evening for a chest workout. Not done any working out properly in like 2 weeks in the gym, so I'm feeling a bit rusty. I'm not feeling very strong, and I need to get back in shape before I travel to St. Lucia, Granada, and everywhere else this summer. But I think that is just about where I'm gonna end this exam week, the week before my final exam, because I have just got one more next Tuesday, the progress test, so I've got a lot to do this weekend. But if you guys have enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like button down below, and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification if you are not already getting notified for the weekly uploads. But as always, I will see you in the next one.